I had a pretty cool experience yesterday. There's a channel that I watch from time to time. His name is Judge Fleischer. He's a judge in Houston, Texas, and his channel is Finding Justice with Judge Fleischer. And I finally was able to post something in the live chat, and he responded to me. And I talked to him about Alcoholics Anonymous, where recovery is. And there's a lot of folks in there that seem to be very aware about it's illegal to claim or own or use an illegal name, which is a fiction because it doesn't really exist, and how that relates to a mental disease state or a mental disorder as that relates to the birth certificate serial number as allocation numbers through the banking system, which is related to blood banks, which are bloodlines, which are seeded races as directories. Yeah, seed directories. Planting seeds, right? So I shared with him in that window in little pieces, because you can only put so many lines of letters and symbols into that window that doesn't exist as it relates to an electrical contract, which says that your electrical power output is an electrical contract. That's what the birth certificate actually is. So our parents sold our battery, our solar bond, our soul, our oversoul bond, OV, over unity bond, okay, as a fraud. It's a fraud. So you know that fraud, if something doesn't exist, then the contract never existed, because the eternal Son, the silver and gold mated one, is first eternal, absolute, pure love. So in the early 1990s, I sent the IRS, so we all know who the IRS is, right? With my blood stamp on it, right? And gave them 30 days notice to cease and desist, okay? And basically told them that the jig is up. It's on you. So you know what it means to be it's on you when they talked about karma and electrical contracts. Okay, selling batteries into slavery as that relates to, right, intergalactic slave traders, right? Slave trading, the electrical power. And so I wrote in there that when I sent that letter, they left me alone, because they're never going to produce that contract because it doesn't exist without our electrical inflow, the input, the eternal Son, the eternal core, the true echo core, which is the still point of a true vacuum, which is no pressure waves, no PSI coded neutrinos. Wow. And so I share this information, these windows, with them, because that's what I did. And what that means, like what I did with performing a total recall. So we know what a total recall is, which is total recall of our electrical power as our oversoul, over unity. Remember I mentioned that? I'm done with them. And then for 4 square crystal, 4 cycles, 4 crystal cycles of crying continuously to heal. Took me 4 days, 4 cycles, 4 square crystal cycles of 3, right? Air sign 333 to heal, crying continuously. And that's total healing, which is total recall, which is full recalibration to experience being one, which is full integration, which is full sensory capacitor levels. So you know what happens when you do damage to the central nervous system when you're experiencing higher vibration. We're less sensitive. Yeah. And so you know what happens when you're less sensitive. you're not getting as much information of what's going on around us. Right? Cellular states of awareness. Neurons. Generating a gazillion neurons. And generating a gazillion brand new healthy stem cells. The circulation speed. The electrical inflow. The electrical sensitivity levels increases. Right? And so that's where more power is what? Less tension. The intention. Oh no, I don't want to experience no tension. No pressure waves. I'm not experiencing any pressure. I'm experiencing being totally relaxed, which is total recall. And then it's on them. Right? That's called notice, serving public notice. Notice to agent is notice to principal. Notice to agent is notice to the AI, to the system itself. That's the same thing as what we used to say as children. The jig is up. The dance is over. It's over. Game over. Right? Just like pinball machines and bowling alleys. Hit the 9-pin, the 9-ball double diamond, 999. Take out the 9, there goes the 12. And how they do the numbers and playing games with a perfect game in their mind is 300. Right? 12 frames, 10 frames, but 12 knock out the 12. And you score 300 points. Right? Scoring, keeping score. Obsessed with winning, playing games. So I'm happy to see that that people are actually sharing in these windows with Judge Fleischer the truth. They're acknowledging the criminal fraud, the criminal mind, the criminal competitive mind that is obsessed with stealing electrical power. That's the war of deception. That's the invisible landscape, which means it doesn't matter what we look like. Spirit. Masking technology. The Wizard of Oz syndrome. Hiding behind the mask. Hiding behind the technology. The use of directed technology. Of cellular destruction. Destruction of numbers. Killing off numbers. To produce more artificial mortal body numbers. Yeah, and so it's all full circle. The libraries are all connected. They're all open. That's called open source engineering. Right? Which is an open mind, which is an open heart. So when you're running wide open, right, wide open, you know, the vertical and the horizontal and the actual spin of the amplitude and the magnitude is restoring atmospheric balance. Right? And experiencing the natural rhythm, the natural tones, the natural rhythm of the plasma tones to experience being perfectly calm and perfectly relaxed. Being you. Experiencing being totally loved and totally relaxed. Being you. Which is what the truth is. Which is what the law is. Which is what love is. It goes on forever. That's who we are. That's why we share who we are with all of you, which is what I am, which is what love is. Muy vaya.